So, how to make a lesson stick. Now, that's a strange title for a video. Because usually it's not just getting one lesson to work, because quite often you'll need more than one lesson if you're going to get some improvement in your game. But the main complaint with lessons is that people don't feel that they get as much out of it as they would like, or that they don't get the benefit that they would want, or worst case of all is that they feel they might even get worse before they get better. So this video is all about how to get your lessons to stick and how to make the most out of the time that you're spending getting lessons. So my number one tip is, when you're planning a lesson, make sure you pick a day that you have the following day free. And ideally even the following few days free. So don't plan the lesson until you know that you have that day afterwards available to do some practice in. Because the biggest mistake people make when getting lessons is that they don't practice what they've learned. So once you've had your lesson, generally speaking, you'll get some drills from your coach. That's really important. If you haven't got any drills, try and ask for some, because drills are an important way of making changes to your swing without having to think too much about the technique. So once you've had your lesson and you're out there the next day and you're doing a little bit of practice, you don't have to stand out there for ages. Maybe allocate an hour per day for the day after and as many days after that as you can. Ideally, even if you could allocate an entire week after your lesson to do a little bit each day towards making some changes to your swing, because you want to be able to do it when there's no pressure, away from the comp, away from the course, just on the practice area, particularly if it's a swing change. Okay, so you've got some drills you're going to do. Some slow motion swings are really fantastic, some very short swings to get a feel for it. Let's say, for example, that the change that you've made is to do with coming over the top of the ball. So at the moment your swing is over the top and your coach is trying to get you to come inside here a little bit more. What you might do is bring the length of the swing down halfway and just practice your new path into out. You could actually hit a few balls doing that, and then you might start to lengthen the swing up a little bit more. You're still using that same path, and then you might eventually do some full swings and then rotate back around to the beginning. So you've got some drills, you've got your short swings, moving up to some longer ones, and then some full swings, and then go back down again. So you might do, say, 3 drills, 3 slow motion swings, 3 short swings, 3 3/4 swings, and then 3 full swings, and rotate back down again through that. And the benefit of doing it this way is that you're not having to think too much about your technique. You're really using the drills and the short swings to get a feel for the changes. You're trying to slowly incorporate it into your full swing so that when you're out on the course, you're not thinking too much about the changes. We want to do the changing here on the practice area, and then when we get out onto the course, you want to try and let it happen as naturally as you possibly can, but that takes time. It's a bit of a process. So the number one reason that people might complain that the lesson hasn't worked for them, or if anything, they might have gotten worse from the lesson, is because they're not taking the time to do the practice after the lesson. That would be the biggest reason that lessons don't work for people. They'll have the lesson, they'll go out onto the course the next day and wonder why it doesn't work, because they're trying to think of something different, trying to incorporate changes while under the pressure of trying to score as well. So get yourself a lesson, make sure that you've allocated a little bit of time in the days after the lesson to do some practice. Allocate an hour per day for as many days as you can, up to a week or 2 after the lesson. Sometimes I know that's not practical, but the more that you can do in those days following your lesson, using this technique of drills, slow motion swings, half swings, 3/4 swings, and rotating them around full swings, do that in the days after the lesson, you'll find that the lesson will really stick. You'll start to feel much more comfortable with it, because it doesn't feel comfortable when you make changes. That's the honest truth of it all. But it's well worth the effort. So if you want to get your handicap down lower and you want to improve your game and you're getting some lessons, this is the way to make them stick. So you've had a lesson, you go out and play in the comp. So you get a lesson and then you don't find that it really helps. And but it hasn't worked, or it hasn't sort of stuck your improvement enough out of a lesson, or worst, absolute far out. Oh my God, I'm really struggling.